Good morning and welcome to my home office. My name is Eric Johns. I'm your Istation Professional Development Specialist. I've been an educator for 25 years. I've worked with children in both special education, general education, and I've been an instructional coach. With that said, let's start with today's topic, the why, the what, the where, and the how of visual schedules. And you may ask yourself, why would I need a visual schedule? Well, visual schedules provide predictability of routines for children. They communicate to a child the sequence of events for an activity or a task during the day. They clarify for the child where to begin, if you will, how to proceed, and how to conclude a task. You should customize your visual schedules, make them meet the needs of the child. You could use things like photographs, physical objects like Legos. You could use words or icons that you print out. For many children, visual schedules help with receptive language and work very well with children who rely on visual spatial skills. Additionally, they enhance a child's comprehension of the directions needed to complete a task or an activity. Visual schedules are wonderful for children who may be on the autism spectrum or may be diagnosed with ADHD because they are so concrete. And over time, using visual schedules will assist a child in becoming independent and engaged in activities while reducing their anxiety and developing a degree of confidence in their skill set. Let me show you a few examples today. They don't need to be difficult. They're easy to make. As you can see in this schedule here, it's very simple. It just starts out with morning announcements, morning tub times, class meeting, whole group meeting, etc. Very simple. You'll notice there's no times listed here or even steps. Let me show you another. This one's slightly different. It's a little broader, but it does include times. You'll notice at 7 o'clock, the child awakes in the morning. By 8 o'clock, they're on the bus and heading to school. By 2:30, they're on the bus and heading back home, and it continues. And that one's a little different. It has time elements. This piece here, I like this one. It's pretty simple. It just has steps, and it's in numerical order. Step 1, and look at the wording. Take off coat. Step 2, open backpack. Step 3, take out work. Step 4, take out lunch. Very simple, very easy to follow, very clear directions. This schedule is very, very similar to the type I used to use in my classroom. On one side, it says the plan. On the opposite side, it shows that you've completed the plan. You use cardstock or some large material that's heavy in weight. You laminate the little cards as well as the card backing, the card stock piece here. And you use a little Velcro to adhere the particular cards. So in this case, the child started out with reading a book. They completed the plan and moved that card to the completed column. Then they had a coloring sheet to complete. They completed the plan, moved the card over in the coloring sheet. And then if you notice here, it says iPad. We know they're working on Istation at that time. So when they complete their Istation work, they'll move the card to the completed section. These work very well. Having that movement involved in the plan is good for children. If you're thinking, where would I produce some of these little icons or these cards? There's a plethora available on the internet, and I encourage you to look there. I printed this out, lots of little pictures and so forth from the internet that you could use in developing your schedule. And then this picture, this young man happens to be the grandson of a colleague of mine. He works on a ranch with his parents and is schooled at home. And you can see he's involved in developing his schedule. And he's used a number sequence, just 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., and placed large pictures as to what he needs to do for the day. So it works very, very well. So again, what's involved in creating your visual schedule? You can use Legos, photographs, icons, pictures, whatever works best for the child. Just keep it very specific and concise. You could vary the length of the schedule. This is something to consider. Maybe you're working with a child that works best with 1 to 3 basic directions. Keep your schedule simple for that child then. Or maybe you have a child that would work best using a morning schedule and then an afternoon schedule. That works very well for some kids. Something else to consider is the formatting. Will the schedule you develop, will that read from left to right, top to bottom? Will it be in rows or columns? Consider the font type, size, and any coloration as well. Now, I know many of us are working from home, or we're trying to teach our children from home as well, and you've probably designated a place in your home that's your learning area for your children. Maybe that's where the visual schedule will reside. Or if your home is like my home, most things end up on the refrigerator with a magnet, and that works just fine as well. But someday school will resume, and your child may need the schedule at school. And we have to take into consideration, will they be traveling throughout the classroom, completing activities? How will that work for them? How will they use the schedule in that setting? Or will the schedule be permanently adhered to their desk? As is often the case, though, children have more than one teacher, and they move throughout an entire school building. And we'd have to take into consideration how that child will use their schedule to have success while navigating an entire school. How will they get from classroom to classroom and not misplace their schedule? The other piece that's probably most imperative is how the child learns the schedule. The schedule must be taught explicitly. I can't stress that enough. And it may take several reteaches to ensure the child understands the schedule and uses it effectively. Remember, this is a tool we're developing for our children in order to give them a level of success. So when teaching the schedule, limit the instructional steps in the wording. Keep it very simple. Use concise language such as reading area or math station. Lengthy wording will impair the child's understanding and their use of the schedule. Let me show you an example again here very quickly of what I mean. In this particular schedule I showed you previously, you'll notice the wording is very concise. It simply says, step 1, take off coat. We're not telling the kid where to put the coat. We're not asking the child what to do with the coat. We're simply saying, take the coat off. Or open backpack, take out work. Very concise wording is what needs to be used. And then lastly, before I close, remember, as time progresses, you may need to modify and improve the schedule to meet the ever-changing needs of your student or your child. And with that, I say thank you for joining me today. For additional information and resources, please visit us at istation.com. And remember, here at Istation, we are here for you. Thank you for being a part of the Red Cape Nation, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.